Shalom, welcome to Practical Spirituality here in Asia Torah, in the old city of Jerusalem, overlooking the Temple Mount. Judaism is an extremely liberal tradition, with the exception of when it's not. Meaning, there are certain commandments that wouldn't fit into any liberal agenda. Like, for example, male homosexuality, which, by the way, is not forbidden in the Torah. The only thing that's forbidden in the Torah is sexuality in homosexuality, meaning men who are interested in men. That's okay. Just don't do nothing about it. Yeah, that's all right. That's not forbidden. The Torah never forbids it. The Torah forbids the act. It's considered completely within the realm of kosher to have same-sex attraction. That is of no issue in Judaism whatsoever. And so that's one thing that's totally misunderstood in Judaism, is that particular act is forbidden, but it's not forbidden to be someone who's got same-sex attraction. Like Judaism's okay with that, and it could even be that it's the most natural thing in the world, because males and females just are crazy about each other, but sometimes the females got male anatomy and sometimes the males got female anatomy. You'll notice couples, when you look at a lot of couples, not every single one, but you take 100 couples, you'll see that there's generally a man and a woman. It's not always their anatomy. There's always someone playing that role, because we're all built androgynously. We all both have the masculine and the feminine. If you're lucky, you got a lot of feminine in you if you're a man, because otherwise Judaism's just one long punishment. Because it's extremely spiritual path. And all that, like He-Man, construction guy, with the drills and the hammers. And you think about it, Judaism is just constantly emasculating men. It's the most emasculating tradition maybe in the world. Not to mention the fact that on your 8th day, you already have an alteration. And they're not adding, I promise you. Okay? This is removal here. And then, of course, you're told, like, what you can and cannot do with that part of your body. It's like, go tell, like, a man's man what to do, especially with that part of his body. You just don't. Judaism is basically emasculating. It's always emasculating. How about men? Men are generally conquerors, which one of the sad things, of course, is men are conquerors. That's why women have to marry them, because if you just go out with him, he will conquer you and move on. But if it becomes really hard for him to move on, if you make it like that his life's going to turn into utter hell if he moves on, he'll stay with you. Yeah, that's it. But otherwise, men are just conquerors by nature. And Judaism, once again, just emasculates and makes a man be tied down to these things. It goes further. Shabbos, every man has to be like a woman once a week, because the man's like, he wants to urinate on every lamppost he walks by. He's just trying to sign his name. He's putting his signature anywhere that he can, and we're told on Shabbos that we just gotta hands off, get your freaking mitts off creation for 24 hours and stop trying to make your mark, man. Stop trying to make your mark and just be for a whole day, Mr. Do. Yeah? You gotta one day a week you gotta be a beer instead of a doer, and that just makes men crazy. And then there's of course the what's really interesting is we have to strap ourselves down once a day. That's like, what's up with that? We've got this we got this leather thing going on, with like straps, you know, and we get strapped down every day. Like a Jewish man has to strap himself down because he's just a loose cannon. And if he doesn't strap himself up, and notice how many loops he puts on his arm when he straps himself up with those leather straps. He's got to put seven. Seven's the feminine. Seven's everything having to do with the feminine. It's the colors in the rainbow. It's the seven is the it's the moon cycle, and it's the week cycle. Every civilization that tried anything but sevens, it never worked. And it's the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And it's just everywhere sevens. And also the woman's reproductive organs work in sevens. And women are the seven, and men have to wrap seven. So like if you think about it, Torah is really feminizing the men as best as possible. And not to mention in Judaism, Jewish women are rough. Really, really rough. You know, they are genetically created to thrash their men. And it's amazing. I mean, they have a Jewish woman will have full amnesia. You've ever done anything for her, ever. You know, it's just gone. And she will thrash. And so, you know, Jewish men are doomed to be more effeminate. We're just doomed to that. And it's a good thing because think about the relationship with God. God is causing creation. Now, what do you think causal is, masculine or feminine? Don't use your imaginations too much here. But God is always called in the masculine. People don't know this. Like you get like traditions, you know, that want to call God a woman. It's like he's like causing the flow to happen here. So we call it him. It's an it because it's not even an it because it's beyond all space and time. So it can't possibly have genitalia, you know. I mean, if it did, that'd be scary. Just ask Mary. So. Now, God is causing creation. That causal in every single thing in the physical world, the causation is called the masculine. It's in everything. Every single thing that's causing something is in the masculine. And then there's the receiving of the cause. That's the feminine. The feminine's always the receiving. And it's everywhere you look. There's nowhere you look where that's not going on. You know, it's in the weave of my vest. It's in the buttons. It's in the water is the masculine. It's the flow. The bottle is the feminine holding it. The window's the masculine. The pane of the window's the feminine. There's nowhere you can ever look where it's not either masculine or feminine. But God gets this masculine name because he's causing creation. So us men need to discover the woman within us, so to speak, to have that relationship. Because when you have one of those he-man, woman-hater guys, you know, I'm so buff, I'm so tan, hey, I'm buff and tan. Yeah, when you get those guys, it's so hard for them to have a relationship with God. Like you can literally like watch who walks through the door of this building to know who's gonna go easy. You know, who is this gonna be like easy for? And who is this gonna be rough for? And the answer is the more his feminine sides develop, the easier will be the experience. And the less their feminine sides develop, the harder is gonna be the experience, because God's here to basically break our yoke, to break the yoke of our stubbornness, of our, you know, this need to assert ourselves, you know, on this creation, to mark every lamppost we walk by. Like God wants to break that. And all of us men, we have to develop that feminine side. But here's the interesting thing, is that men have to have also a powerful masculine side. We have to have them both, because if we don't have a powerful masculine side, so then our wives get scared and insecure, because the flow of the nature of women, which is much more the masculine side, but it is a flow. That flow the femininity rises and the femininity falls. Rises and falls. When the femininity rises, she's looking for the masculine, because it's all plus and minuses like batteries. So when the femininity rises, she needs the masculine. And so now, what she should do is go up to her husband and say, my femininity has risen. So I'd love it if you would just kind of be the man here for me. They don't do that. What they do instead is what's called fitness testing. What they do is they attack their husband. They attack their husband to check if he's a worthy mate. And they attack him to see how he'll deal with that attack. Now, the men have two choices. Because most men don't realize what in the world's going on and why this woman's gone like temporarily insane. Why he's getting attacked by his wife, who he loves and has been providing for. And just yesterday, she wrote him a poem. And that was the last time he saw her. So he doesn't know why she grew pointed ears and fangs. But she's coming after him now. And what'll happen with most men is they don't know what the hell is going on. So they will either, like anyone in trouble, they'll either flight or fight. They would prefer to flight. So that's the beauty of being an observant Jew. An Orthodox Jew is you can go to mincha for like 3 hours. We have 3 times a day where we have a full-on excuse to disappear for hours. Mincha, yeah, 3 hours mincha. Okay, because we have coffee tea rooms in shul. And that's where you hide. Okay? It's just where you hide. And then of course, if you've already davened, what do you do if you already prayed? Well, then we have the bathroom. And so we'll go to the bathroom, not for 3 hours, because then you could get hemorrhoids, but it's pretty amazing how long a husband can sit in the bathroom. Like, he can stay in there quite some time, but he does have to be careful with overuse of the bathroom, and that's why maybe it's better just to stand for a while in there. But the bathroom is an option. But what do you do with a man who's being attacked by his wife? And she's really just fitness testing him. She's just saying, she's like smelling for male. She's just like, is there a man in the house? And so she says, there's one, and I think it's my husband. And this is the beauty of having other children, because it's like having a mosquito in the room when you're sleeping, but there's like 5 guys in there. You don't get them all. You get some bites. Yeah, so I remember how cool it was when I finally had some kids to get like some of her wrath. And, it started spreading a bit, to the children, which was great. And I wasn't like just getting have all the blood sucked out of me every day. So anyway, what happens is she's just smelling for a man, except what does she have? What does she have? She has a wussy. She has a wussy, because either he runs like a little girl, he like runs away, or if he's really got his back against the wall, like what would happen if I cornered a little cat in the corner, even a kitty? If I cornered a cat here and didn't give him a way to run away, what would he do? He'd hunch his back, yeah, his hair would stand up a little bit, and he'd just be like, yeah. And that's what a man does. When he's already gone to the bathroom and he's already prayed mincha, he'll fight. And any man who can learn a page of Gemara is going to rip his wife to shreds. Okay? There's no woman who can beat a man who knows how to learn a daf Gemara in an argument. And he will ground you into fine sand, and make you sorry you ever lived. But here's the craziest thing about it, is what really went wrong? Nothing. She's at the height of her femininity. She's looking for a man. She wound up with a pussycat. She wound up with a wet rag. Yeah? And so she's got this pussycat. Her husband's turned into a cat. And so he's totally failed his fitness test. Now the man, especially in 2019, now the man's like wounded. He's wounded. He's going to go to his therapist. As if she meant anything that she said. She meant nothing. She doesn't mean anything when she says these things. She's just simply seeing if she has a mate or not. That's all she wants to know. Can you stand there and take it like a man and keep your mouth shut and just let her check you out? Just let her poke and prod a little bit to see if there's a man across from her. Just shut up and take it. And be a man, be a melech, be a king for a woman who's at the height of her femininity, which means the height of her insecurity. Because women are like on the height of their most feminine place. That is the place that they need to be held right there. They need to be held there. At the height of her femininity. That's where she needs to be held. As I don't confuse the word feminism. Feminism is masculinism. It's masculinism, and it's trying to put a knife in the female. But at the height of a woman's femininity, she needs to be held. But she's not going to just let anyone hold her. She wants to see if you're worthy. It's fitness testing. She's trying to check if the man is worthy of holding her. Is he going to drop her? Can he hold her? And the way she finds out if he can hold her is, does he fight or flight, or flight or fight? If he flights or fights, she's married to a kitten. But if he can stand there and be a man for her, and just hold his ground, and just be there for her while she jabs him multiple times, and he can stand there and breathe, and even maybe repeat some of the things she said, and say, I hear you a few times. Not much more than that. Don't say you're sorry, because that gets repetitive. Just, I hear you. You expressed yourself well. And just be there for her. That's your lucky night. Because when a woman's at the height of her femininity, she's smelling for a male, which should be her husband. But what happens, the man's so wounded that he can't even come up for air for 3 days. And so they totally miss it. They totally miss their time together. And this happens couple after couple miss their time together because the man's just so darn wounded. And he totally missed all the cues. He didn't understand what was going on. Okay, everyone. Good luck. Slacha.
Hey, Rabbi.